What's going on, guys? It is November 9th and about midday here. I am headed to a new place, New York State, to do some bow hunting. I have never hunted out of state in my life, so I'm pretty excited. I got 4 days to try and get something done out here. My girlfriend actually lives out in New York for the next year or so, going to school, and driving back and forth, it just made a lot of sense to buy a tag since I'm out there hanging out with her every other weekend. Might as well get a tag and see if I can't get a second buck this year. So I'm on my way to the taxidermist now. I'm going to drop off my buck from yesterday, and then I'll be on my way. I got about a five and a half hour drive. And yeah, gotta stop at Bass Pro Shops, buy a non-resident tag, and make sure I got all the regulations and stuff right.
Not in this situation. I really don't think we can.
Good morning, guys. It is, let me turn this heat down so you guys can hear me. The first morning in New York. It's about 5:40 or 4:45 in the morning. Early as hell. I'm gonna stop and try and find some coffee somewhere because my girlfriend did not have any coffee. I won't make it through the day without coffee. And then I got a spot up here on some public that I'm gonna get there kind of as it's breaking daylight and put the stand on my back and kind of scout my way in real slow. And if I find some good stuff, which there was some good stuff in there back in early September, but if I find some good sign, I might set up and just throw a few hours at it, throw a half a day at it, or maybe a whole day at it. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, so we're gonna have some fun and chase some deer, so stay tuned. I got about a 30-minute drive, so we'll see you guys in a little bit. I scouted back in September. And I can hear deer walking around. I think I need to back out and go all the way around and come in from the backside. My wind is not doing very well. It's kind of blowing this way out of the southeast, and I want it more like northeast. If I back up and try to get around these deer, maybe. Yeah, my wind is terrible. little spot. I found it earlier today. It is November 11th, and I don't know what I got myself into, but we're gonna try it again today. I'm in a location, man, I am way back here. I got up way earlier. I'm not even sure how I'm gonna get back to where I wanna go, but there's a lot more topography, a lot more hills and valleys, and there's a creek system that looks like it runs through here. There's a big swamp that butts up next to a huge ridge system, and there's a big saddle right there. If you're a hunter worth your salt, I'm sure there's been people in there, but I want to give that a look and kind of work my way back here, because all of this butts up to agriculture to the south, like within a quarter mile, half a mile. So there could be a lot of deer in here. This was an hour drive on a 2-track gravel road through like the creepiest pine forests I've ever seen. I'm so far back here, it's kind of freaky. I'm gonna kind of do the same thing I did yesterday morning and just kind of wait till it starts breaking daylight so I can see a little bit. Since I've never been in here, I ain't just gonna go walking in the dark. I'm gonna kind of still hunt my way in. That was the first sign of life I've seen. Well, not true. First sign of life today. That was pretty cool. Coyote walked right up on me. If that was a deer, I was ready. These logging roads make it real easy to move pretty quiet. And kind of peek down in these bottoms every once in a while. Yeah, until I find something that if I want to hang my stand and sit for a while, I'm just going to keep doing this. Alright guys, so I went another like 300 yards. You can see this bench down here. I came off that clear cut, and there were 2 does bedded right down in here, and I bumped them and they both took off running up into here on top of this ridge. So my wind is completely wrong to kind of go through this, and there's barely any wind. It is so quiet. I'm walking through these leaves. Since I got off of those backhoe tracks or whatever they were, the guy's doing the cutting, it's just kind of loud. So what I want to do is kind of circle way around this thicket up on top of this ridge and maybe set up. A wise man once said, you don't leave deer to find deer. I know I bumped them, but they're does. And running through here, they're gonna leave scent on the ground. And a big old buck might chase them right back through here, or they might kick up other deer or whatever. So as long as I'm in a deery area, I think that's a win. Some of these hills are bigger than they look. Doesn't look very good. Just not what I'm looking for. But I dropped down to the bottom here, and there's a big lake out in front of me. Down this way to the south, I think. A whole bunch of scrapes. There was a little creek down in there, and they were crossing that creek. The only problem, I really like that spot. The only problem is I can hear the loggers like literally over the hill from me. They must have worked their way all the way back in here. So I'm walking down to the other end. The wind will be better for this side of the lake anyways. So I'm gonna work my way down. I've already seen some really big tracks in here, and it's just this little flat. You can see the giant ridge up behind me and this flat between the ridge and the lake, and it looks like these deer are running up and down through here. It's like a little funnel. So the only problem is it's about to start raining. Instead of ending the tree stand and doing the whole spiel, I'm just gonna sit on the ground here for about an hour and see what comes through. This big beaver pond turns into this swamp, and then it starts coming up this big drainage up here behind me. My wind's blowing out this way, up into this big open woods behind me up the hill. And all these bucks, it looks like there's scrapes, rubs, all kinds of stuff in here. It looks like they're cutting this corner, and there's a little creek in here, and right here is the easiest place for them to cross. So this is kind of acting like a pinch point. Just got back to the truck. That rain's about to hit any minute. I'm gonna do a little bit of driving around. I got a really good plan, I think, for the rest of my trip. I have tomorrow, and I may have Sunday morning, depending. I do have some personal things I got to take care of before I go back to work Monday. But yeah, it's been an interesting trip, I will say that. Hunting in a new area where you've never been is it's difficult, to say the least. Like I said, this is my first out-of-state trip, so I'm not like really seasoned professional when it comes to this stuff, but I'm having fun, so it's been interesting. And like I said, I wish I would have found that spot down in there, you know, the first day, because man, is it awesome. And now that I kind of have an idea, I can look for these like wetlandy ponds, these beaver ponds on every property I go to, and I would assume they're all going to have the same type of habitat and the same sign. Just, it looks like there's a ton of deer in here. Just yeah, I'm not sure where they're all at. Anyways, we're gonna give it a try tomorrow. Hopefully it rains all morning, keeps them all bedded up, and then when it stops raining, you know, these deer will be on their feet, I would assume. But like I said, I'm gonna do some driving around and just see some stuff in the daylight. Every time I head out to a spot, it's dark, so I don't really get to see anything on my way back. And like I said, this rain's gonna hit in about 20 minutes, so I did get back a lot quicker than I thought I would. It wasn't as far coming this way, but man, I was clear up on that hill all the way down. Pretty crazy. All right, we'll see you guys soon.
Probably just hitting too high in the scapula. I've hit bucks there before.
That came up quick.
Then Greg shot that same buck in January, and I think we're probably dealing with pretty much.
It's still raining pretty good. But we're all set up. I'm gonna film on my GoPro. Hopefully you guys can hear me until this rain stops. I'm kind of excited because I'm pretty sure I got in here undetected. The only thing I'm not excited about is my setup. Setting up on this state land is tough because you can't trim anything. It almost makes more sense to hunt on the ground. We're gonna see what happens though. I'm only a stick and a half high, but I'm tucked into all this crap. We're gonna sit here for a while, so let's see what happens. Went ahead and climbed down, and I don't know if that was the right thing to do or not, but I just figured I would have seen some deer the first, you know, couple hours of daylight there if they were gonna come through here. You know, I keep wrestling the fact that there's really good sign in here, but this is public land, and you know, a lot of this stuff is probably laid down at night, and the fact that it's thick, but it's not thick enough to keep me from walking around without barely ducking under anything. Like, I think these big deer especially this time of year, are gonna be hiding in the real thick stuff. Yeah, I just need to get into some real thick areas. So I'm gonna run back to the truck. I'm gonna drop off my bag, but I need to find some like super thick stuff. And it's windy, it's wet. I plan on just still hunting, taking my good old time. So, but first I want to see this real cool waterfall. Feels weird hunting in places like this. Alright guys, so this is my last ditch effort. It's about 10 o'clock. I'm gonna head back into the area where I kicked up a couple does just yesterday morning. It was public. It kind of butts up to some private hay fields, or I'm not sure what's out in them, but I dropped a whole bunch of stuff. Dropped my stand, a bunch of gear. I got the bare minimum, and I got a set of rattling antlers. I know you're not supposed to rattle or grunt or anything like that too much on public land, but I haven't tried it yet once, so I'm gonna give it a try today. What do I got to lose, you know? Haven't even seen a deer that hasn't seen me first, I guess I should say. Circled all the way downwind of this big thicket up on top of this knob, and all I'm gonna do is just really ease my way through it. Give it about 2 hours and just really take my time. Yeah, there's a lot of tracks in here, so let's go get them. first deer footage I've gotten in 3 days. Pretty cool. I looked up, I saw a deer. I was like, oh my God, a deer. But that field is private. The tree line right here is the public line, so I can't go up in there and chase him. I wouldn't want to shoot him anyways. I think it was a button buck. But to me, that says there might be more deer over there. So what I'm gonna do is sit here and enjoy my chocolate milk and see if anything else pops out in this field. Give it about a half hour, and then before I get up and walk out of here, I'm gonna hit the rattling oars together and see what happens. But I'm just gonna relax here for a little bit, kind of reflect on my vacation. Yeah. See what happens. Alright guys, so I sat there and watched that field for a little while. I got about an hour to play with here, so I'm just gonna drive around and just kind of learn a little bit more about the area. I feel like if I were to do things different, I would have probably, the first day I got here, left the stand and just bounced around to all these places and covered, you know, as much ground as I possibly could and found the best sign I could. Because I feel like what I was just in was probably the best sign that I found. And it was a lot different than any of the other sign I had found so far. So, and I actually saw a deer. So I got that marked on my Onyx though for next time, but I feel like if I would have gotten here, you know, Thursday morning and just covered as much as I could, it would have definitely changed my week, I would think. Most likely for the better. So, but it was really interesting, really fun. So like I said though, not done yet. I'm gonna drive around some of these roads and just check out some more of the state land and check out a couple other areas that I was looking at on Onyx that are kind of interesting. And yeah, maybe I can get on a buck tending a doe right now. Who knows? But at least I'll have some more ideas for next time I'm up here. So